Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. I am your host, Joshua David, and we are happy to have you with us today. Once again, broken record, I do have my good friend, my good pal, and yes, he is the stock master, Mr. Al Connickson. Al, how are you doing today?
You know what? I am feeling fantastic, Josh. Hope everybody had a great 4th and, eager to get back to work and get back into the real world.
It was a great weekend, some fun for some people, and we had some fun in the stock market this week. We had a little bit of green this week, depending on when you listen to the show, but our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, 25 years teaching people just like you how to trade, how to invest with the stock market, but also other markets as well. Whatever that soup du jour of the day is, Online Trading Academy has strategies and techniques for you, whether it's stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptocurrency. We've been seeing a lot of people come to the academy that have been wanting to get into the markets for many, many years. Right. And they always say, I just didn't know how to get started. And that's where we start, is we have investing classes here locally to help people get started trading and investing. We're going to talk about some of that stuff here today on Investing with Confidence. But Al, before we get into that, we got to do our market update. I mean, we had obviously some pretty good moves again this week, and there's some interesting things going on in the markets right now. As of the recording here today, the market's up for the week.
Correct.
Who knows what happens after the show here today, but there's some good volatility as well. Great for options trading. And one thing I want to just note here, oil actually we've seen slump a little bit, but getting stronger as the week goes on here. So that could potentially be back right up where the week started. So great volatility. It looks like almost a $10 swing, actually a $15 swing in the oil market this week. Great moves, great opportunities. And we'll talk about the futures market there this week. But one thing just that really needs to be noted is the U.S. dollar. Soaring this week. I mean, major strength coming into the U.S. dollar, which impacts almost every market. Right. It impacts the commodities market. It impacts the stock market. And that's a lot of the things that our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, teaches, is how to use multiple markets to increase your odds in the financial markets. Let's talk about some of that stuff here today, Al. Before we do that, what's your take on this market? We had some green this week. Oil going down a little bit, the dollar soaring, we'll call it. What's your take?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a number of consecutive days of green in the market, which is encouraging to see. But for us, it really doesn't make any difference if it's green or if it's red. They're just opportunities in different directions as far as we're concerned, and our students. That's what they learn. What's been going on in this market is still a lot of concern about the rising inflation, the fact that it's out of control, and the Fed's going to have a hard time controlling it without causing some pain in this market. There's a concern about recession. This last week, we had the jobless claims that came out on Thursday. There was an unexpected rise in the number of jobless claims. It was up 4,000 to seasonally adjusted 235,000. The forecast was for 230,000. But what maybe more importantly, what we're seeing is that it seems like what has been a growing demand for labor, that's starting to cool, and we're seeing more layoffs come. And that's typically in right now the technology area and the housing industry. Even. Big companies are not only laying off people, they're not hiring more people. Some people who had been given offers by these companies had those offers rescinded. So, and the consumer is the driver of the economy. So there's some concerns out there. The market now has been coming back a bit, but even if you look at this as being a bear market, there's always going to be rallies within bear markets. There's always going to be drops in bull markets.
Yeah, it just doesn't go straight. That's why you need strategies for short term, but also longer term as well.
Yeah, and there are two components to your financial life. It's not just long term. There's a short term component too, which really is almost ignored by Wall Street, and we'll talk about that today. But let's talk about why people come into these classes. We really have kind of a melting pot of reasons and stories. We see people coming in because they've been losing money, especially this year, the first 6 months of this year. People are not confident with their ability to do it. They're not. Maybe they're trading or have been trading. They're not consistent in their returns. They don't have the knowledge that they need to feel confident. And when you think about it, where are they getting the knowledge? It's not being taught in schools. It's not being taught in high schools
What's
or
worse
in
yet,
colleges.
the University of YouTube,
Right. Yeah,
which is the worst place for financial information.
Well, you get enough information to be dangerous, and we see that all the time. People come in and they said, yeah, I've been looking at things on YouTube. I've been looking at some webinars, and without the actual kind of hands-on guidance, it can be dangerous to use things unless you really understand what you're using, why you're using it, and when to use it. A lot of people feel the markets are rigged against them, which it really is true, and we talk about that. People think they don't have enough money, they don't have enough time. Those are all fallacies. And
a lot
in
of
these
misconceptions.
Classes, yeah, and I try to address those as I know you do in these classes, so people can get a strong feeling for whether being in the market is the right thing for them. What are the benefits, and are they things that they can do? Are they things that they can address? People know that Wall Street does really well, and they feel that Wall Street is using things that they can't use, that they don't have access to, which is not the truth. So we talk about that in these classes, how we put the odds in our favor by just really following what Wall Street is showing us they are doing. You keep it simple, cut out the fluff and the noise, and just follow what factually is important, which is what moves price, what makes it go up, what makes it go down, and what makes it go from one point to another, the distance, in other words, your profit.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that kind of goes back to what I mentioned earlier, is so many people that we've been seeing come to these investing classes have always wanted to get started but didn't know how. And a lot of that is, and the reason why they didn't get started before, they just weren't comfortable.
Right.
And that's why we have to address the misconceptions of the financial markets. What are you being told and what's actually happening? Sounds like some other things in our life too, doesn't it? But you have to have the odds in your favor. And that's what Online Trading Academy has, is a strategy that's designed to put the odds in your favor and have low risk, high reward, high probability entry points in the financial markets. And that's typically at or near a turn in price. So it's a strategy to find the supply and demand and the imbalance. And that's what I want to continue talking through here in the next couple segments, is how to follow the smart money, the big banks, as Al calls it, the Wall Street elites. You have to find out what they're doing and basically do what they do. And we address that all in these free investing classes, local academies near you. So if you're listening to the show, we have academies near you. We do these classes on the weekend. We have these also during the week, so pretty much anybody can attend. So let's do this. I'm going to give you a text line to get some free tickets. Text right now. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets. Also an insider's kit that will help you get started right away. So if you are new, some techniques and different ways to get more familiar to get started. Coming up next, I want to continue talking about supply and demand, income strategies in the market, but also wealth strategies. And also, make sure to follow our YouTube show on YouTube. I see a couple live listeners here. Also, our podcast, all over wherever you listen to podcasts. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back.